Introducing first to my right in the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist. He comes in at 6 foot 1 inch tall, weighing at 155 pounds, representing House of Pain from Cranbrook, British Columbia, Chris Darula. And introducing his opponent to my left in the red corner. This man is a freestyle fighter. He comes in at 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing at 155 and 1/2 pounds, representing 2110 Fitness and Independent MMA from Calgary, Alberta, Chris Campbell.
And here we go, Brian Beauchamp presiding over proceedings this evening. Round one is about to get underway. Oh, and quickly they both get to work, exchanging knees in the center of the cage.
Dean Panis and David Stanford joining you for AFC 10 here at the TELUS Convention Center in downtown Calgary. David, we worked the AFC 9 show last week in Edmonton. What we're starting tonight's fight card off with is some amateur MMA. And from what I understand, the amateur MMA here in Calgary, there is no ground strikes or strikes to the head while an opponent is grounded. There's also no elbows, period, to the head. So there's only body strikes on the ground. There's no heel hooks and no knee bars.
Yeah, and as well on the feet, I don't believe that fighters are allowed to use knees to the head of a standing opponent. Oh, no, we almost saw one there.
There's been a lot of talk over the internet across Canada lately with some amateur MMA across, especially Western Canada. And as we see a great exchange here early on in the first round. Ooh.
Oh, Darula lands a nice left down the pipe, gets a good clinch on Campbell. Campbell looking for the single here, Dean.
Yes, and I just want to touch on one other factor with the amateur events tonight. There's three-minute rounds as we go halfway through the first round. Battle of the Chris's here, as Chris Campbell had a standing guillotine on Darula, but Darula was able to escape as Chris Campbell with a couple, 3-4 right uppercuts.
Yeah, it's hard to keep these guys straight when they're both named Chris and they're both wearing black shorts. Thank goodness one's been tanning a little bit more than the other. I might be lost.
Yeah, speaking of tanning, that's the Al Durde Joe Durson scoring system. The guy with the better tan is automatically ahead in his books.
Yeah, well, that's where you hope Joe never gets into judging fights. Otherwise, all the guys will be going to Fabutan before they get out here. But we're watching Chris Campbell in the guard of Chris Darula. He's not being very busy. He'll have to get to work here unless he wants Brian Beauchamp to stand him up. But he's working Darula into the cage there. Darula, though, fishing his legs up, though. He's looking for a triangle. He hasn't quite got it cinched in, though. He's going to have to hook that foot under his knee, but Campbell's being really smart here. He's keeping his head pressed up against the cage there, not letting that leg come over. Instead, Darula's just going to move to mission control and sit there in his rubber guard. There's the end of the first.
End of the first round here at Calgary at AFC 10. And David, getting back to what I was touching on earlier in that first round, a lot of controversy as far as amateur events that go across Canada. Different, I'll say sanctioning bodies, but they're not always sanctioned in certain provinces or certain cities. And a lot of people are starting to question whether some shows are safe. I look at this show tonight, the commission's here. I look in the cage and I see Brian Beauchamp, one of the top officials in all of Canada. As we're going to go to the replay here, as we can see that knee that you were talking about delivered by Chris Darula. It was very high up on the chest, but Chris Campbell does a great job in grabbing a hold of that knee and driving Darula into the cage and almost using the cage as a springboard effect.
Well, and you see how athletic both these guys are as they both get right up to their feet there and straight away trying to get the clinch going on one another. Yeah, no, Darula's definitely got some outstanding Muay Thai skills, that's for sure.
And getting back to what I was talking about, Brian Beauchamp, one of the top officials in all of Canada. And when you've got him working, in the cage, dealing with these guys, fighter safety, you can obviously tell, is being looked after.
Oh, well, Brian, very respected guy. He's, he's refereed Bellator out in Ontario. Though there shows there he's a fireman by trade. You have a guy like that in there, you feel safe. And the Calgary Commission all around is doing a great job. I think Dale Kleparchuk's done a lot of good work down here, getting them ready for the UFC event coming here in the summer. And, Calgary's really developing into a great city to host fights as opposed to it being solely in Edmonton for quite a while.
As we go on to round 2 here at the first fight of the evening, the amateur bout between Chris Darula and Chris Campbell.
Oh, and they both land big out there and start trading uppercuts, but it's Darula who's getting the better of it.
Darula's great with that tie clinch. He's able to hold the back of the neck, and Campbell lands with an overhand right.
Yeah, Campbell's come back, but Darula, again, he's definitely landing more and harder. Campbell going to his bread and butter. He's going to look for that double leg, but Darula shrugs it off and looks to sink in a guillotine here.
That guillotine's in very deep, David.
Yeah, no,
very deep.
Yeah, he's got his arms hooked. He could almost even pull guard here. Oh. No, Campbell's smart. He dropped down there. He's going to try and work his way out, but Darula, yeah, and he did it.
Great job by
he's
Chris.
Almost out, though. This would be a great chance for Darula to pounce Campbell's gas. He's wheezing heavy. Oh, and heavy rights by Darula. And Campbell just really fell down there, kind of laying down into a single.
While Darula had Campbell in the guillotine, the one advantage that Campbell had, it was right in his corner, and I could see this cornerman talking to him, and that's one thing very important. There's a very loud crowd already early on here at the TELUS Convention Center in Calgary, and to have the fight in your corner where your coaches can hear is a huge advantage, especially for these amateur fighters.
No, and you said it right there, Dean. With these amateur fights, these guys really need to be listening to their coaches and listening to the instructions, because it's not drilled in second nature what to do in every position, and all the little tweaks and the subtleties in a game of chess like MMA. Oh, and Brian Beauchamp's going to stand him up here. In a game of chess like MMA, it's not so much who's the best, it's who's going to make that first mistake. And that's where listening to your coaches and avoiding those mistakes can really help out.
Again, they exchange, and right away Chris Darula sinks in that Muay Thai clinch.
Yeah, I know, and he landed a really nice left knee there. Kind of crumpled over Campbell. You can definitely see that's his bread and butter. Darula's got outstanding Muay Thai skills, the way he throws on that Thai clinch and starts delivering powerful knees straight away.
Yes, Chris Darula from Cranbrook, British Columbia. Chris Cannibal Campbell from right here in Calgary, Alberta.
See if Campbell can get this takedown. He's trying hard for it. As we're coming to just about 30 seconds left to go here in the second round. And I can see now that Campbell's been bloodied up by Darula. Oh, a nice shoulder strike there by Darula. Oh, and Campbell lands a big uppercut, but Darula comes back with the knee and an uppercut of his own.
You can see blood starting to come from the right eyebrow of Chris Campbell.
Yeah, he's taking a big deep breath, and man, that's a mean gash right above the eye. Hopefully it doesn't become an issue with blood getting in his eyes.
It's no doubt that the doctors are going to take a look at that cut in between the second and third round, especially in the amateur ranks. The doctors are going to be very, very cautious if they decide to let a fight go on or not. I know in a lot of the pros, you get a guy like Joe Dirksen coming in later, and the doctors, I'm sure, will give him a little bit more leniency than they will an amateur fighter tonight.
Yeah, no, I just saw Brian Beauchamp wave the doctor, and he's going to have the doctor come in and take a look at that cut above the right eye of Chris Campbell. Really, it's only an issue if the blood's getting in his eyes.
Once again, you can see the replay of the exchange. Chris Campbell was able to land an overhand right, but right away, Chris Darula sinks in that Muay Thai clinch and works knees to the body. As you see, that big left knee to the body of Chris Campbell that almost drops Campbell to the canvas. So far in this fight, David Stanford, in my opinion, it's all been about that Muay Thai clinch of Chris Darula, and from that position, he's been able to work over Chris Campbell at will.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's been exploiting that position throughout this bout, and you see here the way he does it again. He's just looking for that clinch, always looking for the clinch, willing to take a shot so he can get it, because he knows those knees of his are vicious. The uppercuts, he's been working that a lot, and it's really paying dividends here in this fight tonight.
Great way to start off the night here in Calgary, Alberta. AFC 10 at the TELUS Convention Center. Even though it's an amateur fight, doesn't mean that the fans are not getting what they paid for, and that's great entertainment for their dollar.
Well, and really, I look at the production value of the show that AFC is putting on here at the TELUS Center, and it's just outstanding. These guys might be amateur, but they're fighting like pros tonight.
Off to the third and final 3-minute round of the first fight of the evening between Chris Darula and Chris Campbell. Nice inside leg kick there by Chris Darula, showing some more Muay Thai skills.
Yeah, and you can see Campbell's tired here. He's kind of just winging his punches, not planting his feet and really turning his hips and getting behind him. But Darula, you can see he's pretty tired himself. Oh, and just powerful knees again and again.
Two left knees and a right knee by Chris Darula to the body of Chris Campbell. And we talked about it between the second and third round. He's been doing damage all night in that position.
Yeah, it's been his bread and butter, and he's being smart and not changing things up and just sticking with what's working as he delivers a nice outside leg kick. Surprising, we haven't seen too many leg kicks from him tonight, considering the Muay Thai prowess we're seeing him display. Nice front kick. Oh, and another knee.
I know there's no knees allowed to the head area, but it looked like that time that Chris Campbell ducked right into a knee that was targeted for the body by Chris Darula.
Yeah, nice show of respect there as they touch gloves after, and no harm, no foul. Yeah, neither guy's really rushing in here to get things exchanged, and as Darula throws an inside leg kick.
Now, great poise shown here by Chris Darula. He's got to know he's up on the judges' scorecards, but he's showing some veteran savvy here by sitting back, taking his shots, trying to stay out of danger, scoring when he can, but not, like I said, not really putting himself into danger where Chris Campbell might be able to sink in a submission and come from behind to win this fight.
Oh, as he lands a nice one, too, there. Yeah, he could, think it's time to rush in, time to go for that kill, but that's also that kind of impatience that'll get him caught in a submission, like you said, and could cost him the fight like Thiago Silva and Martin Kampmann, He's better to play it smart. As he lands a really nice right from the outside. If he does this, stays on the outside, keeps picking them apart. These strikes are really taking their toll, and it might end up fishing here. Oh, man.
Nice 6-punch combination by Darula, followed up by another 4-5. 6-punch combination started off in that Muay Thai clinch again. Chris Campbell gets into the full guard of Chris Darula, but some great striking shown there by Chris Darula.
Yeah, I know. We saw the striking prowess of Darula there and the toughness of Chris Campbell as Campbell took all those blows full-on flush. It looked his opponent in the eye and still went in for a double. The guy's taking a beating, but he's tough as nails. Oh, and he's taking the back here of Darula, which
20 seconds left in the third round. We just talked about it. Chris Darula has his fight wrapped up in the judges' scorecards, but Chris Campbell might be able to take victory out of the jaws of defeat with a late third-round submission.
Yeah, I just don't even know if he has enough strength in his arms here as the 10-second clapper goes and he tries to sink in that rear naked choke. Looks like time's going to be his enemy here. And we're going to go to the judges' scorecards.
As David Stanford said, we will go to our judges' scorecards after 3 great rounds of amateur MMA to kick off the night here in Calgary for AFC 10.
We'll kick it up to Dean Panish in the AFC cage for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get our official decision, let's give it up to these 2 young men for kicking off tonight's night with a great first fight. After 3 hard-hitting rounds of amateur MMA action, we go to our judges for decision. Judge Pete Adamick scores at 29-28. Judge Craig Metcalf scores at 30-27. And Judge Brian Giesbrecht scores at 30-27. All for your winner by unanimous decision, Chris Darula!